Joining me right now, Democratic strategist Theryn Bond and Republican strategist Melik Abdul. Thank you both for being here. You know, I know that not everybody watched the fight and not everybody was excited to see him receive so much love, but most people love an underdog story. You know, people are tired of everything being so politicized. So even as heart-wrenching of a defeat that Democrats saw, can Democrats see President Trump as an overcomer? Is there room for the parties to get along and not hate on each other? Theryn, I'll start with you.
Well, I think President-elect Trump was definitely campaigning as the underdog, but I can't say for sure that there is any common ground to be found amongst Democrats and Republicans and President-elect Trump. I mean, there was a huge red wave. They have the White House, they have the Senate, they have the House of Representatives, and they have SCOTUS. And so what we're looking at now is anything that even resembles a liberal or progressive value being completely undergirded by the MAGA administration. And be clear, this is not necessarily what's going to be best representative of the American voters and what's going to be in the best interest of the American public. This is going to be all about revenge and what President-elect Donald Trump wants to see. This is also why he is trying to expedite his cabinet picks and likely to kind of skirt the Senate confirmation process with recess appointments, because he knows that some of his picks have highly questionable backgrounds that will not bode well for the American public.
But Melik, I have to point out, and Theryn, with all due respect, and you can certainly think on this, Musk, Tulsi, RFK Jr., Trump himself are all former Democrats. You know, James Carville, Bill Maher, and the likes of those two have said the ultra-left progressiveness was damning for the party. But clearly, I would think there's some common ground. Melik?
Well, I'm a former Democrat, so add my name to the list of former Democrats in this as we're having this discussion. Of course, they can find common ground. The tax cuts, a lot of those tax cuts that Donald Trump put into place as of his 2017 jobs and tax cuts, well, a lot of them are set to expire. And a number of those, like lowering the individual tax rates, I'm pretty sure that that's not going to go up under Donald Trump. So issues around tax cuts, the tax credits that expanding the child tax credit that Donald Trump wants to do, or even some of the things that RFK is talking about, removing some of those unhealthy additives from our food supply. I think that's a great thing. If we ban things like or limit the use of, high fructose corn syrup, that's something that RFK has been talking about. So I think that there always a lot of room for compromise. The problem is that politics gets in the way and both sides say, don't you compromise with the other side, and then nothing gets done. But absolutely, there's plenty room for compromise.
And even if you call it a listening session like AOC did, Theryn, you know, I've been watching her conversations on social media. She had what she called a listening session for voters who chose to reelect her, but still voted for Trump. Some responding to her ask for, why did you do that? I want to know. One said, I feel like you and Trump are both real. So my question is, does the party take information like this and actually evolve without looking disingenuous?
So what we're looking at is split ticket voting, which I said several months ago there would be a lot of. Ideally, people want a candidate that is going to be authentic and that is going to speak to their emotions, because most voters are emotional voters, whether it's because they're happy, sad, frustrated, angry, want more money in their pockets. That's how people vote, based on how they feel. And what President-elect Trump did correctly is speak to how people feel, which is why you see things like that. If they feel AOC is outspoken and speaks directly to the issues, that's why they would have voted for her, and also President-elect Trump. The problem that Democrats have is some of our more senior Dems, some of our more establishment Dems like to say that the party has gone too far left, when in actuality, it's become more moderate and pushed to the right and has completely isolated significant blocks of voters instead of entertaining them and listening to them. So if Democrats want to move forward and get some wins back under their belt during the midterms and in 4 years for the White House, then what they're going to have to do is listen to some of those people that they have since counted out.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.